What's up, everyone? Beast Mode back. Today I'm going to post some replays from RBET5. That tournament I ended up getting second place. I think there was nearly 200 players in it. I've had some requests of seeing some gameplay, so I figured we'd start with the RBET5 tournament. That's where we really, I had refined the zombie deck. I think this is probably where it should be at this time in terms of optimal lineup. RBET4, I was really new with zombies. I still managed to top, but I probably was, I know I wasn't playing the deck the way it should be played. I was kind of doing some erratic synchro plays and stuff, but still managed to make it to the top. There are some pretty cool enemy control plays in that tournament that I did, so I'll fish through some of the games and find some that can really highlight how good enemy controller was that day. But today we will cover a few matches of RBET5. I think I played 9 or so matches because I was in top 8. So obviously I'm not going to cover all of those. We'd be here for, well, today anyway. We won't cover all of them. I don't want the video to be an hour long. So I think we'll cover round 2 and 3. I had a first round bye. So right here I'm playing Hyro, I believe his name is on DB. And then the other game will be Zytelos, who I believe is the person who pioneered the insect deck. So, very good player. So again, this is round 2. I had a first round bye, so this person had one round 1. And I'm again playing the zombie deck. So let's get into it. I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna show my hand, but I'm gonna hide the opponent's hand, so you get an idea of what I was thinking while I was playing here. All right, and we'll go step by step. So I get to go first, so that's obviously the most important. And to be honest with you, I really haven't rewatched these replays once I kind of play, unless I make a big mistake. I don't really review all of them, so this will be fun to see. So my hand is obviously not that great. And then we got Gores. So I'm guessing here they probably just pass. Let's see. Yeah, just a pass. So obviously this tells that I have Gores, right? But if I set bottomless, I don't know what he's playing. If I set bottomless, Gores could be just dead. If they're playing quick draw or something, they're sending a bunch of cards. And if I set solemn, obviously you're forced to solemn a card that you may not want to. So despite I'm telegraphing Gores, I think it just makes sense to not send anything here. All right, going. So we're doing a graph. So now I know he's on Vayu of some sort or hybrid Blackwing. So this is pretty aggressive. So here I'm looking, I'm thinking, okay, my hand is very weak, so I could essentially drop the Gores after the 1700, but then he has a synchro play and he could like Brio. So I don't think I actually drop Gores here, which is pretty crazy. No, I don't. See, so I actually like really slow roll this Gore. So now this guy is like, what is going on? Like he has passes with 6 cards in his hand, and he doesn't drop Gores, which most players would right then. So now I'm kind of playing a mind game here. So now he synchros. Okay. Now we got a Goyo on board. So obviously I have no out, and I draw a dust shoot. That's dead. So yeah, now we're in trouble because I don't have a Gores on the board. I can't set anything because I need to get Gores on the board. So what do we do here? I go right to end phase. Wow, this surprises me. And I actually pitched the dead dust shoot, and kind of we have some banter in the chat here. Just my hand is pretty much dead, and I really can't play the game. So again, now because I let that last attack go through, he feels pretty certain that I don't have the Gores. I don't know why he sets this first, but so direct attack, obviously I have to drop Gores here, and now we're in a pretty good position because I have a beefy token. I guess you can say that was kind of a beast mode play, huh? Just passing with the Gores. Surprising. So now that my opponent tries to flip Solemn there, I'm thinking to myself that he's probably pretty new to the game, or she, I don't know, but they're probably pretty new to the game. Experienced players know that you can't Solemn Gores. It's a didn't damage step. So now I'm starting to get a different read. Maybe I might be able to take advantage here. The fact that I'm probably a little bit more skilled. Again, still drawing dead. I haven't drawn one playable monster yet. But I think this Gores here is probably going to save me. So I'm not even sure what my play is here. Maybe I'm just trying to swing. Oh, so he flips Solemn. He knows I have it, or I know that he has it, so he just activates it. I wasn't going to do anything with that Goyo. I was probably just going to attack with it, but I think I kind of benefited or took advantage of the fact that he is probably less experienced. It's pretty obvious. So at this point, I'm setting solemn because now I think to myself, I can potentially. I got a game shot next turn. I have the solemn play. I have a bottomless for anything he does, or mirror force if I need to, and I have the mind control, so I can just take the Goyo and swing with the other two direct. So we'll see what happens here. So I'm thinking to myself, I still have game shot, so I just need to mirror force this. It's fine. So I'm thinking to myself now, if he just passes, I win. I'm hoping that he just passes, and then let's see what he does. So now we got a whirlwind play. Got to respond to this. Can't just let them get pluses. So obviously bottomless that 100% of the time. I guess I could have just mind controlled still and just saved the bottomless, but I'd rather not let them, search Gale and then drop Gale and make a Dark End or something. I'm just not going to let that happen. So change the Icarus, and obviously I have no choice here. The only way I win this game is by solemning this. So at this point, I just hope that he has nothing. And let's see. Tributed, so it goes to the graveyard. It's a cost. Yep, there you go. So obviously it's game on board, right? You can't drop Gores unless they have Trag. It's 27, 28 token. And we just attack for game. He tries to drop Gores, which again, definitely shows inexperience in this format. Just can't do that. So we have our discussion and we move on to game 2. So game 2. So now I'm thinking to myself here, I'm going to side deck. I'm feeling pretty confident. It's obvious that they don't know all the interactions and all the rules, maybe just new to the game. So let's see what happens here. Obviously they're going first. It's game 2. So hand much better than game 1, right? I had to like play around with the Gores the whole time, and this here I actually have like playable cards. Obviously seeing return turn 1 is like not the greatest, but it's just the deck. So obviously right here, when you're looking at this hand, you're never just going to slam Allure. That's a bad idea because you have one playable Dark Monster and you have a Book of Life with it. So you just got to hold the Allure here. Obviously we have the Goblin Zombie Torrential play. Now, knowing what I know now, people side decking a lot of Nobleman of Crossouts. Probably summoning the Goblin Zombie is probably just better. Whether you don't even need to attack with it, just summoning it so you don't die to Nobleman. Because if he has Nobleman here, I'm have to like do an awkward return Diva play, which is not the worst, but don't want to have to do that when you like absolutely have game. So here I let Cyber Dragon hit the board because I'm thinking to myself, probably going to summon another monster, just not play. They're just not playing at a very high level here. So someone might just summon this attack, and which is fine with me anyway. So I'm trying to get some advantage off the torrential because when I look at my hand, I look at my cards. I want to play every card to gain me a +1 or make my opponent waste a resource on it. So I am all about +1 -1. That's been ingrained in me. I started playing like 2004, 2005. The whole game was all about having more cards than your opponent. You pretty much win the game. I can't really speak on new Yu-Gi-Oh. I know that like one card can turn into like 50, so it's almost like a whole different card game at this point. But like, and this really holds true to Edison too. +1 -1 is still very important because if you have more cards, you just have more answers and more potential answers. Obviously, you can kind of get OTK'd out of nowhere if you don't have a response to certain things, but +1 -1 should still be good fundamental Yu-Gi-Oh is what you should be doing, and you win more games. So at this point, I don't have to do anything. I get a Goblin Search. So now we got a Mind Control, so I'm like, okay. Obviously, at this point, you have to either be summoning something to Synchro here, or maybe he thinks I main deck Raikou. I don't know. Could just be a bad play as well. So, again, not playing anything here. So here, obviously, I can get a +1 here and a Goblin Search. So, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to go up to 5 cards and then draw 6. I'm going to have a Goblin in the graveyard. Like, this is when Torrential, yep. Obviously, we get a Dark Bribe there, which I'm okay with because, like, this is no damage. So I get to draw a card anyway, so I'm getting a plus there, which I'm fine with. My Goblin Zombie isn't going anywhere because he summoned a Kalut, so we're going to get that back. So again, I'm think emoji, right? You're always trying to play mind games. You always want to outwit your opponent. Maybe think I have a gores, right? I'm not saying you do that every single turn because then it loses value, but there should be some times where you're thinking, using the think emoji or making them your opponent think you have certain cards, even if you don't. Maybe they attack directly. Think for a second. Hold on, let me think about that, and it's a solemn, right? You don't want them to ever figure out what you're really playing or what you have set, or don't give them a read because everybody's trying to read your cards and make all these plays and lines and this, that, and the other. So if you just completely throw them off, they can't get accurate reads on your cards. And it's obviously harder to do online, right? In person, you can really bluff certain attacks, maybe look at the card a few times, pick it up. Online, it's harder to do. So the only real uh, advantage you have in terms of making potential bluffs is really using the think emote or typing in the chat, think for a second, or taking some time. So let's see here. So I think I talked in my last video, Allure and Illblood, that's just 100% of the time. That's what you pretty much have Allure and Illblood in the deck for, because this makes the return play so much better. Because now you have just an access to level 8, and it's just, you see that, you just pitch it. So let's see what we do here. Oh, okay, Diva first. Oh, pull the other Diva out of the deck, that makes sense. I surprise myself sometimes. We don't want to draw into the second Diva, that's bad. Here. Now we alert. Okay. So like I said, pitch that. So right now we got a Goblin's Army in the graveyard. We still have a Diva, so I can make another Synchro play here. But I rather use the Diva if I need to on whatever I take here. Save the Book of Life. I'm not under any pressure at all. Because I don't think I can game anyway. Even if I like Synchro with the Goblin's Army into Brio, pitch that, Mizuki, like, no, he's at 8,000. So it's really hard to OTK with this. Like, you need to have Dark Arm a lot of the time, or if I had the return play set. And then of course you have to worry about if they have gores or not. So I make Stardust here. So thinking about this now, knowing a little bit more that I do, usually against Blackwing, probably Colossal in this situation would be better. But I also have the return here, so I want to set that up for next turn to definitely like game shot because I have the Book of Life, and then a Kaya's play or whatever I want to do here. So let's see here. So again, I'm just playing very, very conservative here. I have what, 4, 5. I have a +3 right now, and then I'm on the draw, so a +4. So unless like some crazy OTK can happen through a Stardust, it's unlikely I'm going to lose this game. So we have a brain control here. So now I'm like, okay, I have a return if I absolutely need to. I don't want to use it like that, but I have it. So this seems odd. I'm like, okay, he must have Kalut. And also, in this situation here, if I have Colossal, like, Kalut is not going to do anything, right? I probably should try to make a read that they might have a Kalut, but the problem is my opponent's been playing so erratic, it's very difficult to even make an accurate read, right? Like, this person's attacking a Cyber Dragon with a Kalut, a Kalut, and dropping a Kalut. So it's very difficult to get a read here. He's got 1 dark. Taking 25, no biggie. We're not going to return here. Still outside of Caius if he sacked for Caius or something. Who knows if they have it. So now we're making a level 5 play, so it doesn't do a whole lot, but that does put 3 darks in the graveyard. And let's see. And Dark Arm. Okay. So I guess if I make Colossal Fighter, it wouldn't have mattered because he brain controlled it and would have just been able to Dark Arm it. So I'm not going to chain return here. That just is not needed. It can't attack me, so why not? Why just let it go? Let's see. So he probably should pop my Stardust. He doesn't, which is not the right play. So technically, I should not have Stardust here. It obviously changes the outcome of the game because I have Stardust on the board. And if you look at the hand here, I still have a Book of Life play into a Caius to remove that and then crash, and I have a Wing Blast. I don't even have to crash. I can just save the Wing Blast and then pitch the Mizuki to bounce that. So, at the end of the day, I'm more than likely going to still win this game. But that's definitely not the right play. You should be blowing up the Stardust there. So here comes Caius. We just run it over, and I have 1, 2, 4, 6 cards, and they're top decking with the win. It's just never happening. It's just not losing this game. Dark Arm's gone now, so it's like, what can they top deck that's gonna get it? Brain Control's gone. There's just nothing that's gonna come back from this. So even if this is Gores, like, it doesn't matter. You have Wing Blast, you have a Gale, like, you have outs, so you can even Dark End if you need to. Main phase 2 with the Plague Spreader, so you just attack with both. You don't care here. Obviously, attack right, sequenced properly. So obviously, if he drops Gores here, you can attack over the token, which I actually think he does. He does. Crazy top decked, but it doesn't matter here. So main phase 2. Okay, so we Wing Blast here because it's a dead draw, right? Boom, draw on Gores next turn, and at 1200 life, so it's game. So again, this game here is probably not the best example. Opponent was obviously pretty new, kind of took advantage of that by just really gaining advantage on every play. I'm sure there was probably a few different plays I could have made there at one point with the Book of Life play rather than just making the Stardust there, or the Goyo rather, and so there's probably some different things you can do there if you want to sit down and really look at it. I felt comfortable with the decisions I made here. I wasn't ever really in any risk of losing this game. So let's move on to the next replay here. So this is Itelos. If I remember correctly, I think they were on Heroes. I didn't know that at the time. I remember the name. I assume probably just insects, but this is a good player. I believe they have a YouTube channel too. So let's just show my hand again, and we can kind of go through this. So I'm going second here, which is no good in Edison, but you got to take it. So hand is, nothing exciting, but Goblin Zombies are good enough to keep you in the game, and you get pluses with them if you play them right. So, all right. So obviously, instantly turn 1, we know they're on hero. Pretty obvious. Let's see here. I don't even know what that card is, honestly. So I'm not even sure what this deck is at this point. They have Necro Shade in the graveyard. So this is some type of like evil hero build maybe. So on this point, it's obvious that you can either set Sangan or you set the Goblin Zombie here. Goblin Zombie could search you a Plague that you can use with the Wing Blast or the Mizuki, so that seems to be the better play. I believe setting Mirror Force may not be bad here, because in case they summon another monster, at least you can out it. And then you also have a follow-up Caius play, so it's just activating effects, which you can't stop, so you just let it go on. Another guy that I've never seen before. Okay, so looks like they got themselves the setup for a absolute zero of some sort. So I think we just Mirror Force this. Makes sense. It's essentially a +1, right? They didn't gain any advantage off these. I know they pitched a few things to the graveyard, but that's not advantage yet. So again, take your pluses when you can, if it makes sense. So this is main phase 2. Now we see the Stratos. The card is so good. So on this point here, I would guess that it's probably not the most ideal situation to Caius into a back row. So again, we're playing very passive here. I don't want to flip the Goblin Zombie and put more heroes in the graveyard. You can, I could have made the argument to attack, but a lot of these hero decks play D-Prison. Oh, D-Prison, there you go. So I do not attack here. I actually set the return. Maybe thinking that they could have had a Dust or an MST because they never played the card yet, although I haven't attacked and gave them a reason to play it yet. Also, return, setup, possible bottomless. So let's see here. And also Wing Blast is one of those cards that at this time, if I set it, there's nothing I really want to pitch in my hand. Like, I'd rather keep the Caius, and Goblin Zombie is just not free, so I don't want to pitch it. So, and I'm okay if this just gets destroyed. Like right now, it's not playable. We're not using it right now. If it doesn't get destroyed in 2 or 3 turns from now, we get to use it. Great. If it gets destroyed, I'm not gonna lose any sleep. So So just playing slow. Wild Heart, can't use this Wing Blast if I set it anyway, on the Wild Heart anyway. It's fine. So let's see. In this situation here, could probably grab Mizuki just in case the Caius gets Psalmed or something. That way at least we have an out to the Wild Heart. But grab Plague, okay, that's fine too. It's either Plague or Mizuki. It's fine. Okay, so now we're gonna have a 0 that we're gonna have to deal with. Alright, so again, very monster heavy this game. We opened up double Goblin Zombie Caius, and we have a return that's dead. So we're kind of like, by no stretch of the imagination, I'll be luck sacking anybody here. We're just kind of drawing and playing cards. So this is great if it sticks. I think it does. So then we search. So usually Sangan is like your third diva. So you can search Diva here, or you can also search a Necro Gardener if you're nervous about OTKs. You can search Gale too, evidently. Gale's great against this matchup. It's probably one of the reasons why I search it, is because it can run over every one of their monsters. I know that they have the field spell, and they can summon Stratos and run over this guy. So then you get to just kill Stratos for free. Yeah, it gets de-prisoned, so this return is now live. We set the Wing Blast now because if they heavy, it's a 2 for 2. So we don't going to lose any advantage there. So again, 4 cards plus 2, that's 6. So they have, 4 and 5? I'm on the draw. So just playing cards, and the Mirror Force got me a +1. The Goblin Zombie searching. So I'm just slowly gaining advantage here, and I haven't really played anything. Caius, +1. I haven't not made a synchro play yet, despite the fact that I have 2 tuners in my hand. So we're just kind of grinding it out. Like, that's what I like to do with this deck. +1, -1 the whole time. Alright, so we got a big guy here. Because you can only use this Necroshade 1 time, I believe. So I think I'm going to send the big guy back, so it's a dead draw. And now I also have a Plague in the graveyard with a return face down if I need to. So here, I'm guessing I'm going Spirit Reaper, because we don't care here. Yep. So Spirit Reaper, again, always that mentality. I'm always trying to get a plus, right? Open field. I know an absolute 0 is coming down, but I'm okay taking, the 2200 direct. And I have a Torrential if needed. So we're going to see if we can rip a card here. We do. So, and now I know his draw is also dead. So, like, I'm sitting in a pretty good position. I just have to deal with an absolute 0, which I have a Torrential for. So he draws, gets his absolute 0. So we do not Torrential here. Looking for some more value. We don't care about the life points. We use the life points. So again, baiting here. See the think emoji? We're baiting here. Alright, make them think. And we don't Torrential there, so now they're like, okay, maybe no Torrential. Oh, I am an idiot. Misclick. So use your life points as a card that says I just took 2300, and that's okay. So you just spent that card. You did not die. I don't die this turn, but I take 2300. That's what the card said. So they can't get over the absolute 0 right now. Alright, we're looking for a little bit more advantage here. Just playing it slow. We have a return if we need to. Alright, so at this point here, I'm kind of like maybe thinking about another turn or two, because I don't want them to get too many more cards, because I've kind of worked my way into an advantageous position. Like, I know that they have a dead Elemental Hero Neos in their hand. I sent it back. So I don't want to give them too much time to get back in this game. So again, I'm still really looking for that plus. So now my monster's dead. Okay, they get to draw, get the Neo alias back. Alright, what do we got here? I think we're just going to take 2500 and we'll be okay with that. Alright, so we still have an out to the 0. It's a 1-for-1 out. We got the Gale that we searched. So Gale's like really good against the hero that just kills everything. Still trying to bait that torrential. I'm doing everything I can. I'm setting Mizukis, just trying to get him to summon another card so I can get a +1 off of it. Again, I play this game. Okay, so Stratos is not the most ideal situation here, right? Because it's kind of like still going to be a 1-for-1. I do torrential here because I can't afford to possibly die at this point. So it would have been nice if it was maybe an alias or something else that I could have, of course, maybe they have a Gemini Spark, but just trying to get a +1, and, that Mizuki is essentially free. So we can chain call, get another search with Sangan here. So I got a Book of Life play here. I'm willing to guess that I am going to get a Diva here. That just makes the most sense. There it is. So 5 cards, they have 4 cards still. We dealt with the absolute 0. So I searched what, showed them what I had, added there. Okay, so we got double Book of Life. So we got some plays here with a return. So there's potential game shot here. Let's see. Summon's good, but he's got double back right here, so we gotta watch out. Trying to grab a plague. Oh, I don't know what I did with it. Put it on top. There it is. Misclicking all day with the Dueling Book. So now we're in trouble because we see the oppression, and I have every card here. 1, 2, 3 is all dead essentially. So we're just gonna go Goblin Beats here, and at this point, we don't really care what they mill. We have an oppression on the board, so we can negate any absolute 0, Miracle Fusion, or anything like that. So still have that Gale, which is really good, like I said. So we're okay. So let's just see here. Searching the Zombie Master again, not really good in this situation with the oppression. And now we got a Pyramid Turtle. So Pyramid Turtle in this deck, there's 3 of them, and the Illblood, so we can let him crash this and then search Illblood in the battle phase, which is what is going to happen here. I'm guessing that would be my. There it is. All right, so just still playing it slow again. We can Gale at any given time. It never feels good to just summon Gale, cut it in half, run it over, and then say go, because then they just summon Alias and run it over. So, but at least it's an out, and it's also an out to absolute 0. So we're just gonna run over here. Do they have any battle trap? No, they don't. So Illblood dodges the bottomless and the damage step, so that's great. So now we have an Illblood on the board, which is actually really difficult for this deck to deal with. Like nothing straight up really can. So of course we're gonna set this on here. Setting a Diva just to be sure that I don't die, and also if I draw an out, like maybe an MST or a heavy, I can just make a synchro play right then and there. Okay, Gores is trash right now. So not summoning anything, not giving him any pluses. Mirror Force, that's fine, 1-for-1. So 4, 5. Again, this game would be over a long time if that oppression's not there, but that's just the nature of Edison, and oppression is just a really good card just against zombies. Solemn that. Don't let him Gemini Spark. We're not going to die here. Still looking for an out. Do we see one? There it is. Alright, so now we're kind of in business here. We're going to Book a Life. We keep the MST in our hand because we want them to pay the 800. They chain. We MST. That's pretty obvious. And they Solemn. So it might have been nice to have the Solemn right now. Let's see. But so I'm making them pay life points here because I have Zombie Master and or Gale. If I can get them to pay enough that I can just kill them with. So they're at 16. And so now I think to myself, if they have Bottomless, it's the only card that stops me here. They do. So let's see. 1600, they still have enough to negate the return. So we gotta pass. Tried there. You go for game. We had a potential game shot. They get one more negate, so we just have to bait this negate here. We get a mind control play, so that's fine. We still get the Diva on to protect us. See if we can attack with some damage here. Because if this attack connects, we can return for game, right? That's the play. It's gotta be. Yep, there it is here. So, and they have solidarity, so we just steal the game here. It was actually really fought back and forth. Obviously, there was. I'm sure you can nitpick and look at the play and really figure out some more optimal plays at the time. But being a tournament play and you have so much time to think, you can't think forever. You know, you got to move at a solid pace and you're under pressure and everything. So you do see some misplays from some of the better players because it is a lot of pressure. And I don't know if I necessarily did or didn't misplay. I'm sure there's some sequences of cards I could have done better in every game, no matter what. So let's get into game 2 and see what happens here. Keegan's on stream here, so I'm guessing we're on the RBET stream. So hand's good again. You know, deck draw's pretty consistent, except when you draw a double diva, which happens at times. So allure here is fine. All right, we're digging for some cards. We don't mind banishing any, or we don't care if we get rid of the tomato or the Reaper. So there's a spicy Sirocco that I side decking against heroes, GBs. So tomato's good here because we can always go into a Gale play, which is what we like. So Sirocco sticks. This is back row, Wing Blast. So that's why that card is like not my favorite, because at this point in time, do you really want to Wing Blast a Sirocco at the top of the deck? You're like, I put this person in a position where they either have to activate the Wing Blast or they're just going to lose this guy for nothing. They choose to lose the guy for nothing. Either way, I'm getting a +1. And then they have to deal with Sirocco. So I think that's the right play. They would have to deal with Sirocco next turn. So I'm trying to not look at their cards. That way we can kind of see how I saw it that day. And again, I am much more experienced now than I was when I played in RBET5. This is like 3 months ago, so I've been playing a lot since then. Exile Force, that's like old school. I haven't seen that in forever. So I think right now it's just summon guys and beat down. So we mill that. It's actually pretty good because we don't want him to get shredded. So now we're Wing Blasting something here. So I said, okay. Making a good play. Okay. I have Vortex, so I don't care. Side deck that in. I also have Smashing Grounds this turn. I think it was double Vortex, double Smash. And I took out most of the Book of Lives and stuff. So if they put in DD Crows and stuff, it's just not. They're never playing them this game. Not going to happen. So I'm looking for probably a Mizuki. They can DD Crow that, but it's going to be it's free anyway. Essentially, I'm searching it and I'm pitching it with a Lightning Vortex. I'm guessing, or Plague, one of the two. You can go either way, however you feel like playing. Probably Mizuki better here because I do have the Diva. No Crow, so we're in business here. If they did have the Crow, not a big deal because I'm still vortexing the board. Oh, they left. They're back. We're back. DB was lagging pretty bad that day, so I let them know what I searched. All right. So again, we're sitting in a position here where I'm at 6 cards. They're at 4. I just drew a Trag. Obviously, this card is difficult to deal with. I'm just gonna get rid of it right now. Maybe summon Tomato here. Oh, we go for the Mizuki play. Okay. Oh, I'm not sure what I was thinking. Going a little... I think I'm trying to maybe drop Stardust. Stardust is really good against this matchup with Geminis. So there's this guy here who eats a bottomless. I talked about that in one of my videos. No need to bring out Brio here. We're not going for game. All Brio does is just lose to bottomless, and then you're really screwed later on. So, like, just... This guy comes out, we're just going to ladder up, is my guess, right into Stardust, or not. I don't know. Let's see. Don't remember at this time. Alright. So, like, it was, like, really lag. I'm not sure what's going on. Like, I was playing, and he said he was lagging, and they didn't respond to the summon, so I was just confused. I think that they were really thinking about. I'm not sure what happened here, but I'm like, I just pretty much said like, I don't think you're lagging that bad, and then I said, okay, it's fine. I'm not gonna like argue about it. If you want to respond, then respond. They don't. So we kind of like reversing here. Oh, he does want to respond to the play initially. So he's gonna Wing Blast that, which I'm not sure is the right play because he could just wing blast the synchro, I guess, but that's fine. Just gonna attack for the 200. Again, they got 2 cards. They have to like out both, which they of course, he has the out for it, which is fine. So he knows I'm drawing a Goblin Zombie. So at this point, I think it's just summon and attack, which is what we do. Could have made the argument to summon the Goblin Zombie because they don't know about the Mystic Tomato. But that also puts another card in the graveyard. You could potentially put a Necro Shade or something. But you also have to reduce your opponent's life points to 0 to win. So let's see here. I think it's just attack. We're not going to summon. Could summon into a Torrential, but then you kind of lose tempo. Even though it's only going to be a 1-for-1, you're just going to lose a Tomato. You're going to replace the Goblin. Setting here. Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Necrogodner, another not that great card in this situation. Just going to keep attacking. We're not committing anything else. We're not going to die to Mirror Force. What is it? I don't even know what that card does. Okay, that's pretty good. A little hot tech right there. And, like, we are not pressured to do anything, so we're not going to do anything. We're just going to keep attacking. Boom. We're going to set Solemn now to seal the deal next turn, potentially. They don't have MSC, so that doesn't happen, which is fine. So, obviously, next turn, they have no choice but to respond or they die. So, we're making them play a card that they probably don't want to play. Not either, but if it's a Mirror Force, they're not going to get the +1 that they want. They're not, Torrential, I'm not summoning into it, doesn't matter. So, let's see here. They don't attack. So, I think here I could have probably rammed in like main phase 2. I think I kind of sequenced these last couple turns. I kind of get a little defensive here, which I don't need to do. I probably should just keep the pressure on. So I kind of let them get back into the game. It's actually not good by me at all. But like I said, I'm much more experienced now. I've been playing 3 months longer. So at this point here, we're going to sack for Caius. Do they have a response? They have a Solemn. So it's fine. See how we're just doing the +1, -1? Like this whole game, I've made what? I tried to make 1 synchro this whole game. I'm just literally just grinding out, playing slow, conservative, strategically trying to attack here and there, poke, and just not waste resources. We have a Gale now. So I can like Black Rose play here if I wanted. Let's see, we just cut it in half. They're at 400, so they have to be able to stop this attack. And they can't. They don't have a target for Hero Blast. So, again, I'm sure there's some other sequences I could have done. You can look at the game and say, why didn't I do this or do that? My goal is to end with as many more cards as I can than my opponent. If you look here, like they have 5 and I have, 6, 7 or whatever, 8 cards here. So, I'm sure I sequenced some things wrong. I'm far better than now than I was then. I've since topped worlds, but I have a different play style than a lot of players. Like I'm not always trying to make synchro plays because in my mind a synchro play, if it's not with a Goblin Zombie, is a -1 and shouldn't be done. And I'm very conservative with how I play. I'm always looking for advantage. So I think I think it's just good fundamental Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you watch a lot of players that are better than me, you'll see that like you never really see them with 1 or 2 cards. Like they manage every card they play is always generating them some type of advantage and is played with purpose. And it's not like, oh, I see the combo in my hand, so I have Plague and I have a Necrogunner, so I should just synchro. Or I have a Caius, I should just, sack. Sometimes it's that simple, but other times you really want to manage every card. And again, looking at this game, I'm sure you can find many different things I could have done. I probably could have, killed somebody 2 turns earlier. But also, you have to remember, if somebody has cards in their hand, and just because you see a synchro play where you could potentially game them, like you have to take into consideration, do they have a Gorz? Do they have a Trag? Because if that happens, like the whole game could flip. Or what if you don't actually have game, but you drop a bunch of guys on the board, and then they top deck Dark Arm? Obviously, the Hero deck's not doing that, but so sometimes just taking it a turn slower and maybe saying, okay, I could potentially kill them this turn if I synchro and all of these things happen properly and everything works out perfect. But if you need 4 different things to work out to be able to kill somebody, you probably should just wait another turn. Like, okay, maybe they have a bottomless, maybe they don't. Okay, maybe I'll just bait the bottomless with a Caius this turn and see, and if they don't have it next turn, I can explode. So if you watch both of these games, I probably synchroed twice. Now, again, this is a lot different than the hero build. The hero build is really based on spitting out level eights and sixes. Like the Silchus hero build is more explosive, and he plays better than I do anyway. So again, I play this deck very control based, very slow, +1 -1. If you have any questions, just let me know. Can always message me on Discord or comment. And this is what, round 3, so I'm gonna try to make a video round 4, round 5, and I think it was 6 rounds before cut to top 8, and there were some pretty good. I actually play Silchus hero build in top 8. I think it's semifinals. So we actually square up. The two zombie builds that have topped the most events actually play each other, and it's a pretty good match. So we'll get to that in the next video, hopefully. And if we get to 100 subscribers, I'm definitely going to start doing the stream sessions probably Friday night. I think I'm at about halfway there now. So if you guys subscribe and do all that, we can definitely get some live streams. I'm not expecting there to be 100 people there. At any one of those streams, maybe 5, 6 players. That's fine. That's enough to have some interactive discussions and play and learn and grow together. So see y'all at the next one.